Right. Okay. This is the Apollo pattern plasma gun. The idea behind this weapon is that it's a plasma gun where the plasma sort of sticks to you and burns for a while. And of course, the plasma gun role in the world of Eternal Crusade is that it's good at piercing armor, so it's good against targets that have a high, high armor, and also it can be used against vehicles. But by firing its sort of blast effect, it also has the potential to get behind cover, which is important in our game because we have cover mechanics and things like that. So if you see some enemies hiding behind some boxes, Aegis defense lines, walls, things like that, then you can fire behind it and hit several of them. This one will allow that to last a little longer as it sort of burns on them.
Great.
Next one?
Next one, Helkiss Meltagun.
Oh, this one I love.
Yeah, this one is truly epic. This is a Meltagun, and the way that the Meltaguns work in Eternal Crusade is that they are a primarily close-range anti-vehicle weapon. So they're kind of like, we'll be treating them in a similar way to the las cannon in that they're supposed to be used against vehicles, so they have a long warning time so that any infantry can get out of the way, but anything they touch is going to be vaporized. But a close target, of course, has the potential to be instantly destroyed, even like a vehicle. Whereas the further out you go, the less damage you take. And so in this case, the awesome Helkiss Meltagun, for those that do survive the initial blast, they will also be burning up. You may notice that there's a theme to this set. And I'd like to remind you that when I'm describing the effects of these sorts of things, you will be able to get those effects in-game or earn these things through a form of currency. But the cool visuals and stuff, that's what we're highlighting right now.
Exactly. So again, based on our last Twitch and all the feedback that we got from you guys, from the community, we've decided on focusing on the aesthetic only and making sure that any spec of weapon, armor, anything in the store, you can have a direct equivalent in the game. So that's something that was very important for you guys and for the community, and that's a change of our model that we did 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
So next up is the Fire Dragon Fusion Gun.
Yep. The fusion gun works similarly to the Meltagun, but in the theme of the Eldar faction, it'll be a little more versatile, a little easier to use, faster, and but not quite as immediately damaging. So you may want to get a few fire dragons together to fire at a target. But rather than being stuck there waiting for it to charge off, you'll be able to quickly get out of the way, get it done earlier, that sort of thing. And of course, this one is a little bit different in that it's actually a faster fusion gun, so you can fire it more often.
Perfect. Next one.
And finally, the Splash Burna. So this one is a sort of Burna-themed plasma weapon.
It looks
for
very
the orcs.
safe for you. It's very safe.
Exactly. There is a little bit of experimental nature to this, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be experimenting with, is it really playable if you have a giant target on your back? So one of the things we want to make work is that, yes, you use this, it fires plasma, but in a sort of liquid feel that sticks to the target, burns, etc. But we want to be able to make it even more powerful, but giving it a huge drawback and having this giant explosive thing on your back. We're going to try that mechanic, see if it works.
Yeah, I can imagine an orcs running around with a hole in his tank with flames going. Like,
yeah. Or when you die, it's basically a mine that you can blow up.
Exactly.
We're gonna try it. We want people to enjoy running around with these and not just get killed all the time.
Yeah.
So,
where's Brent? Oh, it was there.
Yeah, exactly.
Next.
Cool. So
Okay,
now
so
what
these
is
are the ones that we put in the store last week. Now we're gonna put we'll show you the new one. Are they in the store or they're being put?
They're being put in, I think. Right
Okay,
now,
so
yeah.
these are the heavy weapon.
Yes, heavy weapons.
All right,
First
cool.
one.
So this is the Requiem Heavy Bolter. This is a very sort of Emperor cult themed So you can imagine your Devastator going to the field decked in gold and then bringing the heavy decanter. What is that thing called? It's called a censer, yes. Having the censer hanging off the weapon, emitting smoke, and basically purging the heretics everywhere you go.
That's fantastic.
That looks really cool.
All right. It's the Chaos one. So yes, Chaos will have autocannons that you can carry to the field. It's one of the things that they've left over from the sort of heresy era, of course. A lot of these guys have been in the warp for 10,000 years, and so they're still using these weapons, and they're still pretty powerful. So this is the autocannon. Chaos has access to both the heavy bolters and the autocannons. The autocannons are like what we have on the Predator right now. They fire slower but heavier shots. And so this is a somewhat Black Legion-y version of the autocannon with that cool evil demon skull on the front. Yeah.
Next one?
Perfect.
Okay. And I can tell you that the autocannons are really, really big. Like, the heavy bolter is actually a bit stubby, but the autocannon sticks out really far, so you're going to be really noticeable on the battlefield. Okay. That's the Reaper launcher. All right, so the Reaper launcher is the basic weapon of the Dark Reapers, which are the heavy class of the Eldar. And so these guys, the thing is that they're Eldar, so of course they're not like as big and bulky as the Space Marines or the Orcs, but what they do is they use anti-grav to help carry these things around. So these are really big, heavy weapons, but they don't need to be really big and heavy in order to actually carry them. So the Reaper launcher is the sort of missile launcher. It's the traditional weapon of these guys. And in this case, it's a Reaper launcher that fires particularly quickly if you want to fire.
So is the tip of the gun, is that the missile?
Yeah. That's the missile at the end there.
Okay.
You can just like launch, etc.
Oh,
Amazing.
so cool. One
Okay, and the Heartstopper. So this is a zap gun that you can carry around.
What is a zap gun? This one I don't know.
So the Orcs don't use las cannons. What they do is they use more electricity themed stuff because everything they do is a lot rawer, right? So it's basically a giant arc of electricity that blasts their foes. And so we want to have something that fills the role of a las cannon in the Orc army, but it wouldn't be quite right to have something that felt really like smartly targeted and precise. So the way we're going to be working with the zap guns for the Orc Ludas and things like that is that we're going to try to make it so that you can hit a vehicle from a far distance, but it doesn't feel like you did it because you were really precise and accurate about it. So we're going to be experimenting with either having a big explosion at the other end, but still like a big wide zone in which you could be firing, or potentially, because it is electricity, having it actually be attracted to the target.
Okay.
So like you look in the direction you want to fire, you start charging it up, and then if they're somewhere within your cone, then it'll sort of arc to them.
Fantastic.
And so in the case of the Heartstopper, it does exactly that.
And
this one has all sorts of gubbins and
you can
bobbins
see
and
as
things
well
like that.